I think we're here now. Hi, everyone. I hope I have a good connection. As soon as I turned it on, it said bad connection, but I think we're okay. I might not have had the Wi-Fi on the right setting. So, hello. Let's just give it a second and we'll wait for everyone to join us. It is Saturday night and we are here again on the same spot on the couch because this is a very comfortable spot. Hey, Joe?
Yeah.
Joe's with us over there and he'll be in the chat room and we're going to have a good time tonight. So let's just, oh, I'm starting to see some thumbs and some hearts. Everybody's joining. Okay. Yay, yay. I told you we'd come back. Hey. Oh, we're starting with questions right off the bat, just like that. Oh, I know you guys are chomping at the bit here. So, we had such a good time with you guys on Tuesday night, and there were so many questions, and I couldn't see the questions as they were popping up on the screen, and I couldn't read them fast enough. So I was like, we got to do this again, and I got to go back through. So I did. I went back through a lot of your questions. I compiled some good ones, and some of you posted to me, commented on my wall, and also, hi everybody. Everybody's joining us now. And you guys left me questions. You sent me private messages. You posted them on my wall, and I went back through the chat from Tuesday night, and we picked out some good ones. So I wanted to make sure I got back to you guys and we can answer some. And we got amazing prizes tonight. And like I said, where else would we all want to be on a Saturday night? We're a bunch of moms, right? We all want to be together talking about breastfeeding and pumping. Hello, welcome everyone. Okay, let's see. So everybody's getting here. Hi. Hi. Okay, there's Joe. Hi, Joe. Okay, so tonight we are gonna have a good time, and tonight is actually we have an awesome prize from the amazing people at Lullaby Earth. Everybody loves Lullaby Earth, and if you don't know about them, they are amazing crib mattresses. They make these wonderful crib mattresses and also these amazing covers that I'm going to show you in a minute. There's a little peek, okay? Because someone's going to win a Lullaby Earth Breeze crib mattress cover. And we'll talk about it in a little while. Yay, yeah, say yay. You want to say yay? Let's see some hearts for Lullaby Earth. Did you guys watch the video that I posted? I made a video and it was so cute because in that video, remember a couple weeks ago, we did a Q&A with my friend Lisa and her little baby Millie. They were in the video and it was so cute, and also her daughter Emma too. So that was an awesome video on my, there we go, some hearts. You guys watch it? Did you like it? Yeah. And her daddy did the music. It's awesome. So it tells you a lot about this amazing mattress, and tonight we'll talk a little bit more about it, but we got a ton of questions to get to. And also we have a pump that we have a winner from Tuesday night that I still need to announce. So someone's going to win live. Actually, I'm going to announce it live tonight. The winner of the Evenflo feeding pump from Tuesday. And we had some classes we gave away too, right, Joe?
Yep.
A couple classes. We got some winners for those. And so we'll be announcing that tonight. So let's get right to it. First of all, why don't we just find out, where's everybody from tonight? How you guys doing? Where are you from? I'm from New Jersey. Let's start off. I'm here in New Jersey. And it's hot again. I don't know if it's just me. I think it's cooler outside than inside. I've got all the lights on because it gets really dark in here if I don't. And I can feel myself sweating already. So if I start glistening, I'm shining here. I'm shining. It's a little hot in here. And we turned off the fan because it's very distracting. You could see it spinning over my head behind me. Oh, there's everybody. Connecticut, Virginia, Michigan, Illinois. Yay. There you guys are. Awesome. Hi, Caitlin, New Jersey. Okay, awesome. You guys are the best. Okay, so are you guys enjoying these Q&As? Yeah? Are you getting a lot out of it? Because I'll keep doing them if you're getting something out of it. If you love it, if you're like learning something, because I've been watching the comments and everybody's like, getting so much out of it, you know, you should watch, and that makes my heart just so happy because to be able to bring you information where I read something that somebody goes, I didn't know that. Oh my God, you made me feel so much better. You have no idea. It stops me in my tracks for the day. And I'm just like, yes, yes, to just even know that one mom, 2 moms, 10 moms, 100 moms, got something that they didn't know that helped them feel more confident, more inspired, and just sure about themselves, that they're doing the right thing for their baby, that they're making good choices, and that they're okay. That's everything. So awesome. Yes, you love them. I love them too. I love doing this with you guys. So I'm going to just tell you a little bit, I know that a lot of you guys just met me recently, like probably over the last year, maybe, through my Q&As with Jamie, maybe through some of the mommy cons, or just finding me online. Some of you guys have been with me for years, and it's really funny because, we were just talking about this, this whole idea that, doing video online, doing these live chats, this is something that I've actually been doing for a really long time. And I don't think some of you actually know just how long I've actually done this. We started these live video chats way before, right, Joe? Way before live chats were a thing. We were doing it back in 2009. We started, and I did a live web TV show called My Baby Experts for like 3 years. And there's about 80 episodes. And sometimes you'll see on my Facebook wall, I'll post little clips from a show, and all of a sudden I have like this curly hair, and you're like, what the hell happened to her hair? That's from like 6 years ago, or 5 years ago, or 4 years ago. They're little clips from the old shows, and they're just so good. And I just want to make sure that you guys know that that's still available to you, because those archive shows, there's 80 of them. I've clipped them down so that they're easy to digest, so that if you wanted to just watch like 3 minutes, 5 minutes, go to the topics. I actually sent Joe a link that I'd like for you to put up. It's a link to the index on my website. And what that index is, it gives you a list of all the little clipped videos, so you can find exactly what you want to watch. And it'll have like interviews with me, with like different guests, different experts having to do with sleep or nutrition or toxins or cloth diapers, just every topic. So mostly, the breastfeeding stuff I did myself, but then I had a lot of really good experts. So anybody in the audience tonight, were you with me on when I used to do the live shows back then? Does anybody remember doing that with me? Was anybody in the audience then? See if we have any old timers here. Jamie used to come out. That's actually how I met Jamie. Jamie and I met on Twitter years ago, and I was doing the show, and I reached out to him, and I was like, come do it live with me. And we had never met in person, and he got on a train from New York and like came out to my house, and we did it in the store. And it's so funny when I go back and watch the first episode, we look like we had known each other forever. The way we are now was actually like the way it was that very first time. Wouldn't you say? Like it was like the chemistry. We just had such a good time. Then he used to sleep on my couch, and things haven't changed. He's coming back in I don't know, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, he'll be back here. So we'll be doing it again. But that's actually how we started. So I don't know if you guys knew that. A little bit of history for tonight, just a little bit of background, and just thought I'd mention it. All right. So should we get to some questions, some Q&A here? The reason we all came together. Let's do a few questions because I got a lot of them. All right. First of all, there were some themes that kept coming up all week. And I think some of that had to do with some of the stuff that I might have been posting, or maybe I was posting it because I know everybody needs to hear about it. It had to do a lot with like, how much does a breastfed baby eat? And I did put up a post about how breast milk volume does not increase over time. But that I love you too. It doesn't increase over time, but it actually changes in composition. So that was a really good post. And I noticed like a whole bunch of people who weren't even, don't even join us for our Q&As, were just like seeing this on Facebook, and they were like, oh my God, this is something I didn't know. But here's a couple questions that actually came in around that. This came from Jessica, and I don't remember, just bear with me because I don't know where you wrote these questions. You either wrote it on the last Q&A or you just posted it to my wall. But Jessica said, I've got a 2-week-old and I just started back at school 3 nights a week and I'm pumping. How many ounces should he be eating? or does it differ by baby? So the answer is, of course, it will differ not only by baby, but it will also differ from feeding to feeding. So like sometimes your baby will eat a lot more at one feeding. They don't always eat the same amount at every single feeding. So they'll be hungrier at some feedings and less hungry at other feedings. So, but then that, of course, how do you deal with that when you're pumping and you need to leave? So you need to quantify it. It's not the same as when you're nursing at the breast. You do need to quantify it. If I was going to quantify a 2-week-old baby, I would say that a 2-week-old baby eats somewhere around 2 to 3 ounces per feeding, okay? And probably every 2 to 3 hours. Again, this is like an average amount. This is the majority of babies will eat this amount, about 2, even 3 ounces is a lot. I would say more like 2 ounces is probably a good feeding for a 2-week-old baby. Remember when I showed the little balls and I had the 10-day-old belly and it's about 1.5 ounces? So you're talking about 2 ounces, maybe 2.5. So again, 2 to 3 is plenty to leave for a 2-week-old baby if you're going to have to leave a couple nights a week to go to school. More than that, you're going to wind up overfeeding the baby. The baby needs to eat frequently at 2 weeks old. It's a really early time to leave your baby, but I understand that you need to do it. But if you need to do it, somebody needs to be feeding small and more frequent feedings versus large amounts and overstuffing the baby. That's going to simulate more of what you would be doing if you were home on those nights. I would actually take a look at, when you are breastfeeding on the days that you're home, or nursing at the same time when you're home, how often the baby's eating. That'll give you a good indication of how frequently the baby should be eating when you're gone. Okay, Jessica, I hope that helps. The next question, this has to do with pumping, okay, with the pump. And on Tuesday I know this came off of the Q&A that we did for Evenflo with the pump on Tuesday. And this was Caitlin, and she asked me, how does the Evenflo help you pump more than a Medela? Okay, so a Medela is just a different type of pump. And it's not so much that it's one pump versus another, but I can talk about how what features on a pump would help you to pump more. You want to make sure that you have a pump that actually has good suction, that it does have different levels of speed and suction so you can adjust it. And then when it comes to the adjustment, in this particular case, I would say one way that the Evenflo feeding pump, which is what she's asking me, would help you to pump more is that it has adjustable speed and suction controls on the pump, which means you can adjust the speed and the suction separately. That's important because to stimulate the second letdown or the third letdown, multiple letdowns during one sitting, you need to be able to adjust this separately. Now, what happens if you have a dial, like on some of the pumps where you have a button and you push the button and there's a letdown mode, which is kind of a fast sucking but very low suction, so it's high speed, low suction. You push the button and then it kind of inverts where the speed goes down and the suction goes up. That's good for that initial letdown, and you'll see the milk starting to flow. What happens next is that as the milk starts to slow down, you keep pumping in that mode, it's not going to stimulate the milk to release again. If you go back to the original settings, like that letdown mode, that stimulation mode, you're actually decreasing suction and increasing speed again, which is not what you want to do to get that second letdown. For a second letdown or a third letdown or consecutive letdowns, you're going to keep your suction level at the point where you've been pumping and just maneuver your speed. Okay, so I hope this makes sense. You pump with the speed, you start off with the speed up high and the suction down low till you see milk starting to eject, right? It starts to flow. When the milk starts to flow, you increase your suction and decrease your speed, and you pump until you see the milk starting to slow down again. When the milk slows down, you don't touch your suction. You leave it up and increase your speed until the milk starts to stimulate again. You start to get another letdown, you decrease your speed. So you're going up and down on your speed only. Does that make sense? Give me hearts if that made some sense, because I know I just said a lot. That was a mouthful. And I hope you understood what I was trying to say. When I talk about the features on the pump and that, you know, you need those individual speed and suction, that's the reason why. And so if you are not getting enough milk out, it could be because the dials on your pump don't give you the versatility to be able to stimulate those multiple letdowns and empty the breast effectively the way a baby would. Think about the baby sucking, okay? When your baby's nursing at the breast, what happens when they first start? Yes, I see all your hearts now. You're getting it, okay? I think you're getting it. When their baby first starts nursing, they're nursing gently and fast. And then all of a sudden, you know that they're starting to drink because you can hear them swallowing. They slow down, the suction, they start to suck harder, but they're going slower. And then they'll suck, and at one point, they start to speed up, but they don't let go of their suction. Think about it. The suction doesn't decrease. They're stimulating multiple letdowns themselves so they can get more milk, and then you'll hear them swallowing again. A mom could get anywhere from 2 to 10 letdowns in one sitting, and it can just keep happening quick over and over again as the milk starts to release. But you got to be able to stimulate that with the pump. All right, so that's one reason. The other reason that this pump may work better than another pump is because you might be able to find the right flange size. On other pumps, it'll only come with one flange, and if you're using the one that comes with it and it's not the right size, then it's not going to effectively remove your milk. So the fact that the Evenflo comes with 3 different sizes included is going to increase your chances that you're going to find the right size for you, or that, you know, if your one breast needs a certain size and the other breast needs a different size, you have that ability to do that. And also to change sizes as the months go on, and maybe you require something else. And that actually is another question. I'm going to skip over to the questions so that we get everybody's questions answered. Somebody asked me the question about, where is it? Megan said, the past few weeks I've stopped responding to my pump. I've been pumping for over a year. Any suggestions on how to fix this? So, you know, it could be that, you know, as time goes by, as your baby starts to eat more solid food, your milk supply actually decreases. So the first 6 months when your baby is being exclusively breastfed is actually when you're making the most amount of milk. That's when you have the most amount. You're only giving them breast milk. There's no solids. And so after the 6 months, or after you start to introduce solids to the baby throughout the year, your milk actually will decrease. And so if you are pumping at a certain time and you're not making a lot at that time anymore, you'll see a difference where you're not responding to the pump. It may not be that you're not responding to the pump. It may be that you're not making as much milk at that particular time. I would try pumping first thing in the morning and see how that works for you. But if you're not responding to the pump, could be several things. One is what we just left off with. It could be that your flange doesn't fit anymore. Your breast will change. And think about it. They're really full in the beginning, right? And then as you go on through the year, they start to get less full. The flange size may be different. You may need a different size. You may not be responding the same way. And also, if your parts haven't been changed, so maybe, you know, Megan hasn't changed her membranes often enough. Maybe you need to do a little overhaul on your pump and make sure all your parts are functioning properly, because that's definitely going to affect your oh, I see Meg. There's Megan. That was your question, wasn't it? Yes, that was your question. What are you saying here? I know my supply is decreasing, but I am able to hand express much more effectively than pumping. Yes, and a lot of people will find that they can hand express easier, like they don't respond to the pump the way they do to either a manual pump or hand expression. So your pump may not be working for you, but if hand expressing is working, then at least you can get some of the milk out that way. And especially at this point, you're more experienced. It'll just be easier and quicker. It's a skill that every nursing mom should actually learn how to do, which is hand expression. And I can't show you how to do it without really, it's not something that I can show you without using a breast. I'm not going to do that right now myself. But it's something that you can learn how to do. There are videos that you can look online. I should make one with somebody. I'll remember. Let's write that down, Joe, and make a video on hand expression, because it is a skill that everybody should learn. But it's something that is not difficult once you learn how to do it. And listen, these things are machines. They can break down. You could be somewhere, you could be at work. Being able to have either your manual pump with you, which is why I always say put a manual pump into your bag and have it with you all the time, or knowing how to manually express milk, a skill that everyone should know. Okay, Megan, so there you go. Could be your parts, could be your flanges, could just be that your pump's not effective anymore. Let's move on to another question here. Okay, this question is from Sarah, and she said, I am pumping for a 4-month-old baby, and I've been very sick, running high fevers, and my supply has gone down a lot. Is that normal? I'm trying to pump as much as I can and trying to drink lots of water, but it doesn't seem like it's helping. Any advice would be great. Oh, I'm so sorry that you're sick, Sarah. It really sucks to be sick and breastfeeding, no pun intended. But it really sucks because you still need to feed the baby, and you still need to empty your breast so that you don't dry up your milk. But it can be really hard and taxing on you. One thing that I want to say is that when you're sick, and this is a little bit not to answer, this is not really answering your question, but it kind of goes along with it. And I think a lot of people need to know this, is that when you're sick, is especially important to continue breastfeeding. Some moms think, or they're given the advice that when they're sick to pump their milk, to not breastfeed, that somehow they're going to get the baby sick. It's the opposite. So when you're sick, your body's actually making antibodies specifically to whatever pathogen, virus that you're carrying or that you're sick with. You're going to be around that baby anyway. And so it's really important that you continue to breastfeed so that you keep passing those antibodies to the baby, and the baby that way will not get sick, or will be less sick because they're getting the antibodies from you. But when you are sick, it's very easy to become dehydrated, especially with a high fever. If you've got high fevers, you're going to have to increase your fluid intake. Normally, I don't say that, increasing fluid is going to increase milk supply, but dehydration can definitely be a cause of a decrease in milk supply. So the fevers are what's triggering me to say, make sure that you're definitely getting enough fluids, and make sure that you're pumping frequently. From this question, I can't tell if you're you said you exclusively breastfeed. No, wait, she didn't say that. She's saying she's trying to pump as much as she can. I don't know if you're an exclusive pumper or if you're nursing and then pumping in addition to try to keep your supply going. So I really can't answer it from that direction. But what I do know is that you don't want to decrease the frequency in which you're emptying your breast, whether that's nursing at the breast or pumping. All right. The other thing to keep in mind too, I don't know what medications you're taking, but just be careful because decongestants, taking a decongestant can dry up your milk. So that's just one medication that can really have an impact on your milk supply. So be careful with that. If you're taking any kind of decongestant, I wouldn't take a decongestant if I was nursing at all, because it just like it dries up your sinuses, dries you up. It dries up your milk too. So no decongestant. Okay, hope you feel better. I hope you feel better. We are sending you lots of love and virtual chicken soup here, okay? All right, so now let's see. Everybody having fun? Oh my God, look at the questions. Okay, hi Tatum. All right, so let's see. Yes, hi. Okay. We have a question from Ruth, and Ruth said, I exclusively breastfeed my son, but my daughter only breastfed for a couple of weeks. Now I'm pregnant with my third. Congratulations, Ruth. Is there any really good advice for me? I'm due in about 2 weeks. My daughter was difficult nursing, just needs some good encouraging advice. Okay. So here's what I'm going to say to you. First of all, it's fantastic because you did breastfeed successfully, exclusively with your son. So I would really pull on that experience and just remember that you can totally do this. There is nothing wrong. I don't know what went wrong with your daughter, and I'm not really sure if you got off to the wrong start, if you got bad advice, if the baby was just a little more challenging and you didn't know how to handle the challenges that were coming up. But the main thing is that whatever was going on has really no bearing on this pregnancy. Just as you saw with your first to your second, they were completely different. Your third will be completely different as well. And I have so many moms who I work with who take my online classes or work with me directly who are having their third or their fourth baby, and they're like, this is so totally different than the last two, and I don't know what to expect. And when I was a midwife, this is something that used to happen all the time because I don't know if you guys know it. I was a midwife for a really long time. I delivered hundreds of babies, and that's what I did before I became a lactation consultant. So my background was in pregnancy and birth and childbirth. So when I used to have moms come in for their prenatal visits, it was always the second time or third time moms that were always so much more nervous, it seemed like, than the first time moms. And I could never quite understand until I started thinking about it. And I'm like, okay, what's happening is they kept comparing their second pregnancy to their first. And when it wasn't exactly the same, they thought something must be wrong. Something must be wrong. With their first, everything just was like, well, I guess that's how pregnancy is. So they weren't there was nothing to compare it to. And I think that that happens a lot with breastfeeding as well. When it doesn't go exactly the same, you think there's something wrong. Or when the baby's not gaining as fast as your first one, or doesn't act exactly, or doesn't sleep as much as the first one, or cries more. That was my experience, right, Joe? Our first daughter, she was so good. I mean, she was, just didn't cry a lot, ate and slept, and it was totally a great experience. And then we had little Talia, and she cried from the first minute she came home, and she never stopped crying. And I remember thinking, what's wrong with her? What's wrong with her? I think she still cries a lot. She's 12. She's still a whiner. But that's just her, and you'll see, you're going to laugh because as your kids get older, you're going to look back and go, oh my God, they had the same personalities the day they came out. And they still have the same personalities. But they're just totally different. And they were two girls and they were completely different. I expected them to be identical because they were both female. I don't know what I was thinking, but they're not. So my advice to you, Ruth, is don't compare, start fresh, pull on your good experiences, think of your own positive experiences and your own success, because you actually have that to pull on. If you're a first-time mom out there, or if this is your second baby and you didn't have a good experience with the first, pull on our success. Okay, so reach out to me or to others, to the rest of our community here who have had really good success, and take advice from moms who actually were successful. Try to avoid the conversations that are discouraging. All right, and then I would highly recommend, Ruth, for you, take my Simply Breastfeeding class. You have 2 weeks till the baby's due. This is the perfect time to watch it. This is going to help you. You're going to say, oh my God, this is my third baby and I never even knew half of this stuff. Think about all the things you learned just from me talking to you for, half an hour or reading a post I write. That class is awesome, and it's the actual class I would teach to my live students. So I highly recommend watching that before you deliver. There's nothing more encouraging or inspiring to help you start off right and breastfeed than watching Simply Breastfeeding. And can I get some hearts for that? Is there anybody who's seen the program that I can get some hearts for that? I know Tatum's in the audience, so she can definitely do that right now. She can definitely give me some hearts for that. She was at the live class, so I know that. Yeah. And right now, they're 50% off too. So the whole rest of the month, all my classes. Joe, you want to put up the link for the classes? Joe's going to put the link up for the classes. There's the hearts. There's all my students. Okay, so all my classes are 50% off for the rest of the month. Take advantage of it. So whether it's the Simply Breastfeeding, because you're expecting, or you have a friend you want to recommend it to, or you're pumping, you want to take the breast pumps and briefcases, you're going back to work, you don't know how much to, all these questions. I mean, like literally, if I go down this list of questions, they're all in the classes there. So I would definitely recommend doing that. If you have the Evenflo pump, or if you're getting the Evenflo pump, they come free with this pump, both classes. And then I also have the cloth diapering class, which has nothing to do with breastfeeding, but it's just an awesome class because I love talking about cloth diapering. And it's a really cute class, lots of cute babies. So Joe's going to put the link for us right now. It's 50% off for the rest of this month. And we are also going to give away 3 winners tonight for your choice of class. Can I get hearts for that? Hearts for 3 classes. Free classes tonight. All right. All right. Let's move on to another question. And the question came from Veronica. Yes. Veronica said, okay. Veronica said, oh, you took the pumping class, Deneen. Deneen just watched the pumping class. She says, the class that I have seen is awesome, the pumping class. I'm an exclusive pumper. This is my second child. I'm an exclusive pumping, and I learned a bunch of new stuff. I'm so happy, Deneen. Yay, great. Yes, see, and so much of the things that I answer in these questions, right? It's right there in that class. And then I'm like, okay, just go watch the class because I already filmed it all. All right. So now, Veronica asked the question. Actually, this isn't simply breastfeed. I know what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna look at every question I'm answering and tell you if it's in my classes because I did cover it. This one is actually in the class as well too. She says, hello, today I was told that I have low bone density and I was advised to stop breastfeeding my son. I injured my back and I have a possible compression fracture. I'm a veteran and therefore I receive healthcare through the VA, which is not known for its excellent care. Especially care for women, unfortunately. Have you heard of this before? Is this a real concern? Do I need to stop breastfeeding? Okay, we haven't seen this question before, but I thought it was important to answer it. Well, first, because Veronica needs the answer. She's been told that she has a compression fracture in her back, that she has low bone density, and she's breastfeeding. So the answer here is that when you breastfeed, your body does leach calcium and out of the bones, okay, to put into the milk. So your bone density can decrease slightly when you're pregnant and when you're breastfeeding. That is possible. Could it be the cause for her compression fracture? Maybe, but she would have had to really have an injury as well. So the answer here is that it will cause low bone density temporarily while you're breastfeeding. And so that's why you want to make sure that you're getting enough calcium through the foods that you're eating, or you're taking calcium supplement. You actually need more calcium when you're breastfeeding even than when you're pregnant. So make sure that you're getting enough of it and spread it out throughout the day if you're taking a supplement, because your body can't absorb all of it at one time. But the answer about whether she should stop breastfeeding, absolutely not. Because one of the benefits to mom, and there are many benefits to mom for breastfeeding, one of them is a reduction in the incidence of osteoporosis later in life. So even though your bone density can decrease temporarily while you're breastfeeding, what happens is when you stop breastfeeding, your bones actually get stronger. And so later on in life, as you age, when women typically have lower bone density, weaker bones, osteoporosis, you have decreased your risk of this and your bones become stronger. So it has an opposite effect, and it actually is one of the benefits to breastfeeding. So especially if you have low bone density, whatever they're telling you, you want to continue to breastfeed because that's going to stimulate your bones to actually become more dense once you finish. In the meantime, you want to be careful that you're not injuring yourself, okay? So thanks for the question, Veronica. I hope that helps you. I hope that you're feeling okay. Thank you for your service, and thanks for reaching out to me. Okay. Let's move on here. Let's send some love to Veronica. Let's send some hearts to Veronica. All right, so the next question came in. Let me just see what's going on here. What are you guys doing? I feel like I'm sitting here reading. Okay, so Scarlett's saying, I wish I would have known 5 years ago with my first, when I know now that I'm breastfeeding my second. Yep, see, and everybody says that. I wish I would have known this when I had, where were you when I had my baby? Wish I would have known this before. So this is why these chats are so important, right? And then tell your friends, because yes, we're sitting here going, oh yeah, this would have been great. There's someone out there who is actually having their baby right now, or your friend who's, you know, pregnant, and maybe they don't realize, you know, you remember when you're pregnant with your first, you don't realize all the things you don't even know, you don't know. Because you don't know it. You don't know you should know it. You don't know you should be asking about it till it's too late. So, you know, recommend it to your friends, even to come to the live chats that we're doing here. Just that little bit of information. You never know. Just one thing I could answer could be that very thing that supports somebody to continue or to stick with it. Okay. Let's see. Yes. Okay. This was one of the posts from this week, and this was a question that came in from Kaylee. Kaylee said, hey, Shari, do you have any advice on babies being diagnosed with dairy allergies? I stopped dairy on Sunday, and I'm hoping to see some improvement in the next few weeks with my 1-month-old. I have my heart set on breastfeeding till at least a year, so any helpful advice is welcome. Okay. This question's a little confusing because let's talk about the difference between dairy allergies, lactose intolerance, and milk protein intolerance, okay? All different, okay? So she's talking about a dairy allergy, and I don't know why she would stop breastfeeding. She stopped eating dairy, which is good, and that's what she needs to do, but definitely she wouldn't want to stop breastfeeding. Dairy does not mean breast milk, okay? So I'm not sure if you're saying that she has her heart set on breastfeeding till at least a year. So, there's a difference between a child being allergic to dairy, like lifelong allergies to dairy, and a milk protein intolerance that is very common in newborns and human babies, okay? The protein that is in cow's milk is a totally different protein than what you find in human breast milk. And so there are a lot of babies, I'd say 50% of babies are just intolerant of that protein. Now, some more than others. And in some babies, they're just really, really gassy, really uncomfortable, even to the point of blood in their stools. It becomes an irritation to the bowel. And you really need to do something about it. It's something you should always have your mind on if your baby's really fussy and not doing well, and you're drinking a lot of milk or eating a lot of cheese, or there's that protein is in so much of the food, and you really have to get it all out of your body. It will take at least 3 days, up to a week, for it to fully come out, so you can start to see some effects of it. And typically, babies that are intolerant of that dairy protein are also intolerant of soy, which I wouldn't be eating any soy anyway. That's a whole other conversation. Let me write that down because we need to talk about soy as well. But the dairy, the protein in the milk, it's not something that they necessarily are going to be intolerant of the rest of their life. It could just be a few months. It could be the first year. Most of those children will go on to be able to eat dairy later, but just can't have it in infancy. And that means through your breast milk. That means that you won't be able to eat it because it does go through to the baby. This was the post that I did this week about lactose intolerance, because so many people, they confuse it. They think, oh, my baby's lactose intolerant, so I drank Lactate, or, I can't have lactose. Completely wrong, okay? It's so rare for a baby to be lactose intolerant. It is a very rare condition, and those babies can't even be breastfed. And the reason why is because your breast milk has like 10 times the amount of lactose in it than cow's milk. So it's very rare for a baby to be lactose intolerant. That's something that happens to people as they get older, not infants. So drinking Lactate is not going to help. But cutting out the dairy protein itself will help for most infants. And I had this with both my kids. They both could not tolerate any dairy when I was breastfeeding at all. Even a little bit of cheese sprinkled on my pasta, I'd be up all night. Remember, Joe? He'd be like, "Why'd you do it?" I don't know. I couldn't help myself. It's just a little cheese. How is she gonna know? How is she gonna know? It's so little, and she knew. Okay, because it would bother her. So it took me a couple of weeks to like admit it to myself, and then again with the second one that it was happening all over again. Both my kids were intolerant of any dairy at all, and so I had to go completely dairy free while I was breastfeeding. And I'll have moms who'll say, "Oh, forget it. Like I have to have my cheese, so I'm not going to breastfeed." And I'm thinking, oh, well, those are the babies that really need to be breastfed, because what are you going to put them on? You're going to wind up on some hypoallergenic corn syrup, something or other, versus human milk. And so those are the babies that really need breast milk, and you're just going to have to cut out the dairy. It's worth it. When you start to see your child doing so much better and sleeping better and way more comfortable and all those other things. Yeah. So Chelsea's asking, what were the symptoms? Up all night crying? Yeah, basically up all night crying, up all day crying. I'm crying all the time, uncomfortable, very gassy, green stool. Okay. Even some blood in the stool, but the green stool could be a very big indication that there's an irritation. So that's one of them. And then there's the crying and the fussiness. If that happens, what I would say is think of it first. Okay. And if you're thinking, oh, what is it? And one of the other questions that somebody asked me, where was it? About what she should be cutting out of her diet. You'll get all kinds of advice about like, don't eat tomato sauce, don't eat broccoli, don't eat this. Eat everything. Like the chances that it's the tomato sauce versus the dairy is so rare. The very first thought should be, maybe it's the dairy, maybe it's the milk I'm drinking. I'll have moms who'll say, God, I've cut out everything. I wound up eating nothing. All I have is like a bowl of cereal with milk in the morning. And I'm thinking, that's the problem. Okay. So that should be your first thought. If your baby is very, very gassy like that, the first thought should be like, well, maybe, what did I just have that had a lot of dairy or cream or ice cream? Unfortunately, those things are going to really bother the baby. All right. So you're saying here, your son would just scream for hours. His poor belly hurt him. Yes, Kaylee. That's the very, very common symptom. And you cut out the dairy for a day and you think, oh, it didn't work. There's still like that. It's not going to be a day. It's going to be several days or a week before it actually completely comes out of your system. So keep going with it. It's really not that good for you either. Not a big cow's milk fan. I don't drink cow's milk myself. It's not that I don't eat cheese. I do eat cheese and I do have some, but I don't sit and drink cow's milk, and we don't even have cow's milk in the house anymore. I wouldn't say that it's like the number one thing to feed your child or even to be drinking when you're pregnant or breastfeeding for the reasons that we just talked about. I actually gave Joe the link. There's a whole episode from my web TV show on cow's milk. I did that with Dr. Susan, right? Is it up? I think I sent you that link. It's a really good episode. Yeah, about dairy and cow's milk. Oh, there it is. He's so good. There's a delay. He's so good. Okay, so the problem with cow's milk. So you guys can go back and watch that. And if you don't want to watch the whole thing, you could just go to the index that he posted earlier. So it has it clipped down into smaller clips for you. So you could just learn a little bit. That was with Dr. Susan Markell. She's a pediatrician, a good friend of mine. Awesome. There was a whole bunch of shows with Dr. Susan. She's great. You should go follow her. She wrote the book, what your pediatrician doesn't know could hurt your child. And she's a pediatrician. She's fantastic. I love everything she talks about. We just had so much fun. We'll have to have her back. I got to reach out to Dr. Susan. We should do an episode with Dr. Susan. I'm trying to read this. Yep. Yeah, that's what Jamie does say. Yeah. Okay. So watch that episode. That was good. Was there something else that I was going to, soy, right? We were talking about soy for a minute. The issue with soy. First of all, soy should never be your go-to for your babies, for yourself. especially postpartum. Soy can interfere with your thyroid function, which is already an issue for postpartum moms. So, and most of the soy that you will eat is genetically modified anyway. So I would just stay away from soy milk. Don't drink soy milk. And don't eat a lot of soy, especially when you've just had a baby. And then that soy is actually going to pass through as well. A lot of babies are intolerant of that. And when it comes to formula supplementation, if your baby has a dairy intolerance, soy is not a great choice no matter what. Soy has a lot of phytoestrogens, so that it actually can, how women who are menopausal will eat soy to increase their estrogen levels, because soy increases estrogen. It does that in an infant as well through the formula. So soy formula is not a really great choice either. So I would say that you start off, and they will tell you that to start with dairy, and then if their baby's intolerant of dairy and you really do need to supplement with something, or you're not breastfeeding, I don't even know if there's anybody on here who's looking for that, but you were talking about more of a hypoallergenic formula at that point. That's a whole other conversation, and I think I do have a few clips of that from in the list. If you go to the index, you'll find stuff about that for sure that I've talked about over the years. Let's answer a couple more, and then let's move on to the Breeze here, because I want to talk to you about this Breeze crib mattress cover. So now Ashley asked, how often should I offer a bottle so baby will take one when needed? I just pumped for the first time today. Her baby is 2 weeks old, and the baby took it with some coaxing. I don't have a reason or need to pump, and honestly, it's too much. It's so much more work. I want to make sure he will take a bottle though for the occasional date night. Okay. If you don't give your baby a bottle, see how like you had to get a little coaxing to get the baby to take a bottle? It's really hard for a lot of babies to just take a bottle at will. Like you never give a bottle, the baby nurses at the breast all the time, and then you try to go out one night and try to give a bottle. That's going to be really hard to do. So if you really want your baby to take a bottle, my advice is to do it daily. That means like even just like a quarter or a half an ounce from the bottle once a day, maybe like at the time when your milk supply is the lowest, like around dinner time, maybe you pump a half. This is what I talk about. There's a whole chapter in my Simply Breastfeeding class. I think it's also in my Breast Pumps and Briefcases too, about introducing your baby to a bottle. How do I do that? How do I keep the bottle going? Most of the moms that I work with want to be able to give a bottle, whether that's because they're going back to work, or as Ashley's saying, she wants that occasional date night where she can go out and know that her baby can be fed. So the best way to do that is to pump that little half an ounce first thing in the morning, maybe while you're nursing on one side, pump a little half an ounce from the other side. You have a lot of milk, the milk's easily flowing, save that little bit of milk. And then at dinner time, 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night, when your supply feels lower, let's feed the baby that half an ounce and then put the baby to breast to nurse. All right, and do that on a daily basis. What will happen is the baby will keep accepting the bottle. And I'll have moms who do this. They'll watch the classes. They'll go through the motions of doing what I just said. They're like, yeah, baby's taking a bottle, no problem, right? And then they're like, nah, I got lazy, didn't do it for a week or two. Now I tried to go back to it and the baby doesn't want it. The consistency is going to be really, really important. If you keep not giving the baby, if you skip a few weeks and don't give the baby the bottle, don't be surprised if your baby's like, blah, don't want that. What is that thing? So you might want to just stay consistent with it so that for the times when you do want to give a bottle, you have that option. What is Kaylin saying here? My son takes 1 ounce with daddy as I eat dinner each night and then nurses after with me. It's been working great for us. Exactly what I'm saying is perfect, Kaylin. That's what I'm talking about. And that's going to help your baby to keep on taking the bottle so that you have all your options open. Why not? Why wouldn't you want to be able to do it all? And it's not a necessity. Of course, there are lots of moms who just nurse the breast. And listen, my second baby, I had all the right plans for her to be able to do that, but I waited 3 weeks to introduce the bottle for the first time, and it was too late. And let's face it, we tried like 20 different bottles. I mean, I did. Come out and get this one. I know this one's gonna work. I was really sure she was gonna do it. My first, again, here we go. First and second, totally different. With my second, I didn't do it right away, and I tried like 20 different bottles, and she was like, "No effing way am I taking a bottle. No, I don't want it. I want the real thing." And so eventually she won out, and she never took a bottle. So we had no date nights. She came with us on date night. We wait for her to fall asleep so we can be alone for a little while. What?
The third wheel.
She was the third wheel, he said. She still is. Yeah. So, yeah, she never took a bottle. So did we survive? Yes, we survived. It was fine. I breastfed her. She was fine. We were okay. Is it a necessity? Nah, you don't have to do it. Would it have been nice? Absolutely, to go out for a little while, and be able to leave her. My mother was like, don't leave her with me. The whole family, my mother, his mother, were like, they used to take Jade, remember? They would take Jade, no problem, my oldest. They'd be like, we'll take Jade, we'll watch Jade. Don't leave Talia here. Don't leave Talia. Nobody, because she wouldn't go to anybody. She wouldn't even go to him. She didn't even want anybody to hold her except for me. She kicked him in the eye right after his surgery one time. We're having too much fun. Okay.
She's streaming downstairs.
She's streaming downstairs probably and breaking off. She's third wheeling it downstairs in the basement with her cell phone. Yeah. Uh-huh. and kicking me off the internet. All right. Got a little crazy there. I'm thinking back to those times and just, oh my God. Yeah. I feel you guys. All right. Let's see. Let's answer a few more here and then we are going to move on because look at how many questions. There's a lot of questions, right? A lot of questions. Whoa. Okay. Nicole said, "Hey Shari, how long do you try to breastfeed before giving in and supplementing? I'm pregnant and had a breast reduction. I'm aware that I might not be able to exclusively breastfeed, sadly, although I hope to. I don't want to starve my baby. When do you say it's not working and supplement? I don't want to give up too soon." Okay. So this comes up often from moms who had breast reduction surgery. And it is a possibility that you could have an issue with not making, it's not that you won't make the milk, you'll still make the milk. However, there could be an issue with the connections to deliver it to the baby so that the milk might not come out. But here's what I'm going to say. I have had so many moms with breast reduction surgery who went on to exclusively breastfeed their babies. And I actually have one client who had 2 breast reductions. She and her husband, they're very close friends of mine. They sat through my live class and I'll never forget them sitting there right to the right of me through that class. She had tears in her eyes through the class because she wanted to breastfeed so much and she knew she had these 2 breast reduction surgeries when she was younger. And she knew that there was a possibility that it might not work out, but they took the classes anyway. They prepared for the best. They prepared for it to work out, and we just stayed very, very positive about it. And they learned everything they needed to know. And sure enough, her first baby came out and she made milk and she exclusively breastfed her first. She's had 3 children. She has exclusively breastfed all 3 children. She had plenty of milk, 2 surgeries. Okay, so that's a really great, encouraging story right there. And I have many of them. That's just one person that I can tell you. So I would say, please stay positive, learn everything you can, go through this pregnancy as if it's going to work. The question you're asking is, when do you know that you need to supplement? Again, when you hit that point, that's when you start to think about it, and you'll be looking for signs just like everyone else where you are not seeing wet diapers or the baby's losing weight beyond the first week, okay, that the baby's continuing to not gain weight, but you want to be able to, you want to be working with a good lactation consultant at that point, because there are so many reasons why that might be happening. And you want to be doing, I would probably make an appointment with a lactation consultant now, or get somebody now, so that after you have the baby, you can go do some weighed feedings. What that means is you sit with the lactation consultant, you feed the baby, you weigh the baby on a special scale, so we can actually see some volume. You can at least that way see that the breast is making milk, that you're expressing fine. You could try pumping some just to see what's coming out as well. Although remember that the pump can't get out the milk the same way as the baby, so it's not going to give you the best indication. I would say that you're not going to starve your baby. Okay, you are not going to starve your baby. The most important thing is to watch for the same signs that everybody else would be looking for when you first start breastfeeding. How do you know your baby got enough? There's 4 ways that I teach on how you know your baby got enough. None of them have to do with volume, because when you're nursing at the breast, if I said to you, okay, now go home and make sure you give the baby 2 ounces. How would you know? You wouldn't know. That's not going to tell you anything. And how do we even know that's how much they need to eat at that feeding? We don't know. Okay, so there's just a few ways to know that the baby got enough. And these are the signs that Nicole would be looking for with the breast reduction, or any mom who is breastfeeding will be looking for in their baby. One is right before the feeding, you feel your breast, okay? Get into the habit of just feeling the breast. Then you put the baby on. After the feeding is done, feel your breast again. If the breast feels softer and not as full, and the pillow underneath you is not soaking wet, then it went into the baby. The baby actually ate what was there. It's a very simple way, but you know that milk went in, okay? You're also going to be listening for audible swallows, and that means that you're going to listen for the baby's sounds going, it's like a swallow in their throat, okay? That some people look at the jaw. Personally, I really like to hear that milk going down, and you can really hear it if you're quiet and you know what you're listening for. You will hear the swallowing, so lots of audible swallows. The other thing is to make, if the baby's coming off the breast satisfied, in that nice milk coma, that milk drunk, okay, where, they were fussy, they were hungry, and now they're coming off the breast satisfied. That's a really good indication that you're giving milk to the baby. And then the last thing, which is the one thing you can actually quantify and you are going to keep track of, it's the one place where I have you actually measuring, and that's wet diapers, okay? So baby should be wetting diapers, 6 to 8 in 24 hours, 6 to 8 wet diapers in a 24-hour period. At least there's milk going in, okay? That's like, right there, there's no emergency. If the baby is urinating, the baby is not dehydrated, there's no emergency. You keep going, okay? Weight gain is a whole other question, a whole other story. How much do they have to gain? That kind of thing. But just for that initial, what she's saying, that she's going to starve her baby, that's how you pay attention. You watch the wet diapers and you listen for swallows, and that's how you know your baby's getting enough.
Post a link?
Yeah. Joe wants to post a link. What, to the video?
To the girls?
To the girls?
What
girls?
Ours.
Our girls?
The babes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, the cutest video. Oh, they were so cute. Yeah, Joe's going to post a link. So years ago, when I used to do the show, and I had a video blog. Is that there?
I just posted.
Okay, how do you know your baby's having, okay, out of the mouth of babes. Okay, this video link that he just put up, how do you know your baby's getting enough? Those are my daughters when they were really young, and they used to listen to me doing the blog, and they wanted to come on and do, and talk about how do you know your baby's getting enough. So that video, you'll enjoy it. I'm going to watch it again afterwards. It's very cute. What? What, Joe?
I'll edit it. How do you know your baby's getting enough?
Yeah, how do you know your baby's getting enough? It's a good one. It's everything I just talked about, except Jade, my 8-year-old at the time, is describing it. So it's very cute. Okay, let's talk for a minute. Let's give away some prizes, okay? And let's talk for a minute about this amazing Lullaby Earth Breeze crib mattress cover. Okay, so first of all, Lullaby Earth makes amazing mattresses that are there's 0 toxins. They are made in the United States. They're completely waterproof, okay? They don't have any flame retardants. They don't have any of the hazardous chemicals that so many of the crib mattresses have. And I don't know if you know that those flame retardants, actually, babies will breathe that in. So it's really important to pay attention to the mattress that they're sleeping on. You know, that's one of the places where they're going to spend a lot of their time. And it's one of the places where they are going to be taking in chemicals or breathing in chemicals. Tonight, what we're going to look at is their breeze. And so they have there's a mattress that they make that's fantastic that has none of those chemicals in it. And then the breeze actually comes with this cover, okay? And it has a cover that goes over it, which actually has other features to it, which is fantastic. And what's great about the breeze cover is that if you don't own the breeze mattress, this cover will go over your regular crib mattress, okay? So what's great about this is that, I don't know if you could see it, it has these little porous holes right here. What that means is that if the baby was to roll over, okay, they can actually breathe through this right here, through these little mesh openings, okay? So it's a breathable mattress cover. It's also completely waterproof too. So if the baby pees on it or whatever, this is completely waterproof. It'll protect your mattress. These little holes, they're breathable, and on top of that, it keeps them from sweating and getting hot, so they don't get so sweaty. It wicks the moisture away, which is fantastic because babies get really sweaty. I mean, I know my babies sweat a lot. You know, when they were little, they still sweat a lot, but they would sweat so much. And so this really, really helps with the breathability and with the sweating and keeping the baby cool. So it just it increases airflow. Okay, it increases airflow. The other thing is that the mattress is completely machine washable. Okay, and completely waterproof. And so what's great is you can actually put this, if you don't have the Lullaby Earth mattress, you can use this cover that I'm going to be giving away right on the mattress you have. If you don't have either, I would look into it. Go to the video that I posted earlier, the one that I made with Lisa and Millie and Emma. And you can learn all about the Lullaby Earth Breeze crib mattresses, which are one of my favorites. And they're really affordable too. I mean, if you're looking at a mattress, this is really the way to go. Thumbs up, okay? So the mattress comes in 5 different colors, so you can coordinate it with all your other stuff. And we're going to be giving one of those away. What I want you to do is comment here in this post. Tell me what features you love about this mattress. If you're not sure about the features I just went over, you can go back and watch the video that I posted earlier tonight and post here. And you can also post on the video. Actually, you can post on that video link as well, on that video post for the Lullaby Earth. And I'm going to pick a winner from there or here. Okay, so just tell me what you love about it, why you want it, why you need it. We discussed it earlier this week, and we're going to go ahead and give one away. And I'm going to be doing that. I think we're going to announce the winner actually tonight. Okay, so there's no waiting on this one. Tonight we're going to announce a winner. Okay, so after we get off here, we will give everybody a chance to post, and then we will choose a random winner tonight for the Lullaby Earth Breeze cover. Thank you so much for giving that to us, okay? But right now, I also have some winners for the pump. Who's the winner? I don't even know. Picked a random winner. Let's see. Okay, so this was a random winner. First of all, we got 3 winners for the class. Let's do the class first, okay?
I know what they like about
what?
trees.
Yeah. Okay, good. Everybody's putting in. Good. Get your comments in because we're gonna pick a winner tonight. Okay. So from Tuesday's live show, we had 3 winners for the classes, right? And those 3 winners were Megan Buck. I can't see. Megan Buck. Okay. Ashley Wells and Atara Tambor Joel. Okay. So those were our 3 winners for. Those are for classes. So you can actually pick whichever class that you want, and you just want to send that over to me. Hold on one second. Okay. See, now my daughter's coming in here, so now she's throwing me off here. What can I do for you, Jade? Okay, Jade wants to watch. Okay, come sit down. You can watch. Okay. All right, I thought she had an emergency. All right, sorry. Okay, so we have 3 winners. What I want you to do, Megan, Ashley, and Atara, go over and send me a private message. I need to know your email address and tell me which class you would like, whether it's simply breastfeeding, breast pumps and briefcases, or the cloth diapering class. You can pick one of the 3, and we will set you up tonight. Congratulations. Awesome.
I actually purchased one while we were talking.
Oh, good. Awesome. All right, yeah. And remember, they're 50% off. What's the code?
I posted it. It's WBW50.
There's a promo code for WBW50. Okay, and that will give you the 50% off the class. And by the way, there's still a code going on for this little nifty thing behind me. I don't know if you...
I spy that.
Do you spot? Do you see what I'm sitting with? See what I'm talking about? I love this thing. Okay, that's the Back Buddy right there. Okay, there's a promo code for Back Buddy. You want $20 off the Back Buddy too for the rest of the month. It's SCWBW16, right?
Do we need a special link or no?
No, they just need to go to back-buddy.com and put in the code. I think it's SCWBW16. I love this. This thing has been so... Have you noticed me sitting here with it the entire time? How comfortable. I'm like loving this thing behind me here. So $20 off the Back Buddy. And we still have a pump to give away, okay? Now, I'm going to give away the pump right now, okay? But tomorrow, we start the next giveaway for the final week of our National Breastfeeding Month giveaway. So I still have one more pump that I'm going to be announcing a contest on starting tomorrow. But tonight, we have a winner, okay? And the winner is Chelsea Jondro Cannon. Congratulations, Chelsea. Okay, you are the winner of the Evenflo feeding. Will you hand me that box, sweetheart? I'm going to show you what you're going to get here. Okay, so this is the Evenflo feeding, advanced double electric. Okay, and it comes with a face sticking out the side of this box here. Actually, there is my face is on the box there. Ha ha ha. Okay, so there you go. Okay, you get the whole pump, you get the flanges, you get the bag, you get the cooler, you get the classes, you get everything with that. Okay, and that is an awesome prize. Yay! Congratulations, Chelsea. So that was it for tonight. Make sure that that was a lot of questions. We did good tonight.
So did you.
We did good. Did everybody have a good time? Did you have fun? Did you learn something new? Did you enjoy this night? Should we do it again? Yes, we'll keep doing it again. I hope you all had fun. Okay, and so there's still another prize to give away when we get off of here, so pay attention and then make sure that you're subscribed. It looks like am I slowing down? No, good. Okay, make sure that you're subscribing to my live chats and my events so that you don't miss anything. We're going to be doing another pump, and we have some more amazing giveaways coming up, but all kinds of good stuff. If you want to subscribe, I think you could do it right now while you're on the live chat. You hit the subscribe button, so I think right when we finish or during right now, and you can also go to my Facebook page wall, and under events, you just click on events and it will take you to the subscribe button, and that way you'll get a notification when I go live, so you won't miss anything, okay? Whether it's giveaway or live event or whatever. So now I'm gonna breathe. I'm gonna drink my iced coffee. I'm gonna say goodnight, and I'm wishing you all so much love and just thanking you for being here with me. I enjoy you so much. I can't even tell you how much this is so much fun for me. And I hope you have a wonderful night, and I will see you all soon. All right, so good night. Joe, you want to say good night?
Good night, everyone.
Good night. We love you guys. Mwah. Bye, everybody.